Hey guys, I wanted to make a short video here. Dylan Morgan, Plagued Moth, sometimes gets a bit of flack for like wearing a Burzum hoodie or wearing a Burzum t-shirt or patch. Burzum is a band that was essentially just this guy, Varg. So if any of you are familiar with Varg, whatever the fuck his last name is, this is a dude who is essentially the band Burzum. Like the metal band Burzum is just this dude. And I'll just read you something here from his profile on Wikipedia. For anybody who doesn't know who this is, I'll keep it simple. After founding Burzum, he became part of the early Norwegian black metal scene. In 1992, last name, along with other members of the scene, was suspected of burning down 4 Christian churches in Norway. He denied committing the arsons, though he supported them. And later on here we see that he fatally stabbed Mayhem guitarists, blah 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 blah, arrested shortly thereafter. Convicted of first-degree murder, church arson, and possession of explosives. You can read more about it on the wiki page if you want to look into this whole thing. You will also notice as you read along here, the dude, a Nazi. Actual Nazi. So yeah, not really a good guy. Now, a lot of people will say, oh well, you can like his music, but that doesn't mean you support him as a person. It doesn't mean you support his Nazism, his crimes, and so on. You can like the music without liking the guy. You separate art from the artist, and to a certain extent, yeah, that's true. You separate art from the artist like you do with H.P. Lovecraft and a bunch of different people, usually dead people who lived in a different time, but, hey, that's beside the point. What we're going to be talking about is the fact that Andrea Morgan, as you can see on the top here, the top left, Nullamora, her old username, it's her old picture as the avatar. Her Tumblr blog is also connected to gospelofshit.tumblr.com, which is no longer up, but that was Plagued Moth's old Tumblr blog. So this is Andrea Morgan's blog from back in the day. And Andrea Morgan, bit of a Burzum fan. Bit of a fan of Varg. She's such a fan of Varg that she has been slowly turning a 17-year-old boy into Varg as much as she can. So I don't actually know if Plagued Moth is the big fan of Burzum or if it is just Andrea kind of putting that onto him. Because as we can see from her past pictures on Tumblr all the way back to 2013, this was around the time when she met Plagued Moth, we got some stuff here like, I went to church once, left no survivors, in reference to the church burnings by the Nazi. When boys bake in the middle of the night with you, first we need fire, again, referencing the church burnings. And then of course we've got some animated GIFs of Varg. It's very clear that Andrea Morgan has or had a crush on this dude, which is kind of interesting. And we've also got, stuff like this. A smile every day keeps the church burnings away. So I don't think Andrea Morgan is so much separating art from the artist as she is just supportive of burning of churches in the name of Nazism. It appears that way. Now, she may have grown out of this. This may have been a phase. Plenty of people on the internet go through a Nazi sympathizer phase, so we can't judge her too much for that. But it just is interesting to look back at this when Andrea Morgan and Plagued Moth are using everything in their power to say, this other person is a racist, this other person is a sexist, they're a misogynist, they're a transphobe. We, the enlightened, woke duo of Plagued Moth and Plagued Goddess, sit here in judgment of these other people who have said very bad things. These people are very bad. And not only do they have no evidence and no proof, and when they do show something, it's, very much twisted to fit whatever fucking narrative they're putting together. But not only that, you two literally fucking simp over a Nazi to the point where you're putting up shots of him fawning over him with a fucking assault rifle. Andrea! My goodness. Out of everything that's been going on, I never expected to come across you supporting Nazis burning down a church. What the fuck? This is like being a fan of H.P. Lovecraft and saying, I separate art from the artist, but also, it was kind of funny when he would talk about how other races were subhuman. Like, no, 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 no. No, 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 baby cakes. I think it's pretty apparent here that you guys put on this facade of being enlightened or woke or whatever term you want to put on it. You put on this facade because you know you have a lot of people watching you now and looking at your actions. And it's clear that all of that is fake. But what's interesting is that I never quite expect the depths to which you guys go. Like, when I look into this shit, I never expect to find anything. But I always find shit, and I find worse and worse and more deplorable shit. Like, I'm at some point I'm going to go through this blog, and I'm going to pour through every post of yours, and I almost have a feeling that I'm going to just see something where you post in all bold letters Sieg Heil or something. Like, that's the only way this could get any worse. It's the only way it could go lower. And, you know, for anybody out there who may be watching this video who's like, well, I'm a Nazi, or, you know, I don't believe that, you know, we should be saying bad things about church burnings, or, you know, for people who are on that side of things, at least, hopefully, you can appreciate the fact that these people are pretending that they are the polar opposite of who they are. At least you can look at the fact that these are two-faced people who are completely pretending to be people they're not, while also lying about other people and making shit up about them. This is like mind-blowing right now. I cannot believe this. Thank you for this gift, Andrea. Thank you for posting this shit. You know, part of me thinks that all of this edgelord stuff is just Andrea completely putting it on to a 17-year-old she found. The funny thing is, you can't even say that this was like a one-off thing, or, you know, something that she just looked into, like, maybe for a short period of time a while back, because her backlog of posts are full of these fucking things. I would really like to know what is in this video, because this is a thumbnail that has come up time and again, and it's a thumbnail of Andrea talking about how churches and religion are the problem with the world, and you can agree or disagree with that sentiment, but the thing is, you might have a different reason for thinking that than Andrea, who apparently was very much on the side of a Nazi burning churches. Whether you disagree or agree with that statement, I would like to see what specifically her points were in this video. But unfortunately you can't, because she took this video down the minute Plagued Moth started getting popular, in order to hide whatever was in it. So yeah, this is just what comes up on the surface when you look into the past of Dylan and Andrea Morgan. Which makes me wonder, who the fuck do these people think they are to go looking into someone else's past? Especially when they have to make up shit.